pitch. At that time, the decision was that if the match officials, that's the two on-field umpires, felt it was unfair at any stage, they will consult with the match referee, and then they'll consult with the captains as well and make a decision either way. So obviously when the teams came off, that's exactly what happened. From our point of view, this decision lies squarely in the hands of the match referees, and I mean, we can't say either way whether we want to play or not. They've got to make a decision whether it's safe or not.
Yes, Joe?
Joe, the India team have made it very clear multiple times that they want to play. What is South Africa thinking? Their people, do you want to play?
Yeah, I think everybody wants to see Test cricket. I mean, the match is interestingly poised at the moment. It could go either way. There's two of your best teams playing, so everyone wants to see Test cricket. The issue becomes what is unfit and unsafe. And I think when the ball leaps from a length and hits somebody in the face, that's when the match officials, in their opinion, feel that it's unsafe. I mean, we'll definitely want to play if the conditions are safe, but that's for the match officials to decide, not for us to decide.
So Lois, then Lloyd.
So, Doc, they said that the Indian management told us the decision will be made in the morning. What is your understanding of what's going to happen between tonight and tomorrow?
No, according to the match referee, he hasn't come back to us officially that the decision is going to be made tomorrow. They told us to wait around, and they're going to let us know this evening if that's going to be the case.
Yes, Lloyd.
Doc, is this embarrassing from a South African point of view?
I mean, there's no doubt there's questions are going to be asked about the preparation of the pitches. When we got here on day one, I mean, it looked like a sporty wicket. From a South African perspective, all we wanted was a good wicket with pace and bounce. But obviously the ICC will rate it, and there will be some form of repercussions.
Doc, you said that when a batsman is getting hit on the helmet from a good length, we have to come off the field. From where we were sitting, it seemed like Dean was hit with a ball that was a half tracker, a normal bouncer. Was there a particular ball that you're speaking about, that spattered from a length?
I'm not sure we're watching the same game. The ball that hit Dean Elgar shot off from a good length.
Did it?
It didn't.
All right, let's go to the next question. Thank you, sir.
You said that the decision lies with the match referee on whether to play or not. But if it comes down to the match referee asking you guys, are you happy to play, what would be your answer?
Definitely. If the match referee makes a decision, then we have to play.
Even without repairing the pitch, on as it is?
If that's the decision that the match referee makes, then definitely we'll play.
Yes, Joe?
Was Dean particularly unhappy with the conditions? You know, we've had these meetings between sort of the umpires in the middle, and we're trying to guess from on high what the discussions are. The guys who are facing the balls, when they're coming in, are they unhappy with what's happening and what's coming towards them?
Nobody's made a direct statement as to the condition of the pitch with the ball seaming around or bouncing off a crack. But I think if it's hitting the rib cage and maybe hitting one or two fingers, you can probably get away with it. But the minute it goes up to the face or head, and that's why the match officials, actually the umpires, walked off the field and decided to consult with the match referee.
Can I have the last two for Doc, please? Quintel?
Yeah, Manager, my question is, if you just said if it had hit the face or something, it would have been dangerous. So why the South African bowlers were bowling at the ribcage area and at the face when the Indian tailenders were batting? So it was almost the same. The pitch was behaving the same, and they were coming round the wicket and bowling like that. When Mohammad Shami had particularly hit a six, pulled it over the swell leg.
So I don't think the short pitch bowling affected Shami at all. He made us fetch it from the middle of the stands. I think this is Test cricket. You're going to find that one team will try and attack to try and get an advantage and get a wicket, but I don't think there was any deliberate intention to hurt anybody.
Is that it? Everyone happy? Thank you very much. Let's go to
Take that,
I might need a tall chick. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Just putting aside the controversy for a while, just in terms of the play that was held, were you a bit disappointed with just where the Proteas have ended in terms of the match situation?
Yeah, I would have to say so. I think India, over the course of the 3 days of the match, have sort of utilized the conditions better than we did. They made us play a lot more. We sort of bowled a little bit wider than we should have on this pitch. You know, they've had the upper hand in the game probably from the first day, and they deserve to be in the position that they're in.
Otis,
Otis, Chris, did you have any fears that something like this would happen, having seen the pitch in the build-up to the test? Did you feel that this pitch looked excessive and it was going to be...
Not really. I mean, obviously I've played here before, and I've played here on a wicket that looked very similar to this with grass on. The wicket, the underneath seemed to be harder than normal. The groundsman said, I think both teams, when we looked at the wicket on the first day, both teams said it looked like a good pitch. Obviously it had a bit of grass on. The grass was cut down to 5 mils. In preparation it was higher than that, and the day before the game it was cut down to 5 mils, which is pretty normal for a wicket with grass on. When we play in England, the wicket, the grass will be around a similar sort of length. But I don't think that we really expected it to behave in the way that it did. It started obviously tough on the first day, and then it is obviously gradually got a little bit worse.
The reason I asked is the suggestion from the Indian camp seems to be along the lines of this is the result of what the South Africans are pushing for to go to that.
Well, no, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. I mean, the wicket last week wasn't like that. The wicket, the one thing that we've said, and everybody's making a big issue of grass. We've never asked for grass. We've asked for pace and bounce. Now, if you're a groundsman and we ask you to make a wicket with pace and bounce, and you feel like the best way of getting pace and bounce is to leave grass on the wicket, then that's it. And then we get on and play with it. The wicket in Cape Town, the game only went 3 days, but I thought the wicket was a good wicket. We asked for a similar wicket last week in Centurion, and it was more like Mumbai than anywhere else, and it was a great test match as well. And this one, unfortunately, the wicket has got gradually worse over the course of the 3 days.
So you were saying that you'd asked for pace and bounce. So when you ask for bounce and the ball pitches at 8.5 meters, where exactly does the batsman expect the ball to go, if not the head?
What's your question?
If you're asking for bounce on the wicket,
yeah.
And as the host broadcaster said, that ball that hit Elgar had pitched on 8.5 meters on the wicket. So after asking for bounce, if that does not hit the head, where exactly were you expecting that to go?
Well, I'm trying to see where your question is and trying to answer your question. And I wasn't out there, and I'm sure you weren't out there either, because I didn't see you out there. But
that's why I said
the umpires in the middle, Dean went forward and the ball took off a length, he thought. Whether it was 8 meters or not, even on a third day pitch, perhaps he's not expecting the ball that pitches at 8 meters to take off and hit the batsman on the head, without the batsman even having the time to take evasive action or whatever. And at the end of the day, the umpires will make a decision, which they did. And I think, with regards to where the pitch is at the moment and the decision making around the pitch, there's 4 umpires here and the match referee, and I think it's up to them. That's the reason why they're here, to make decisions around the safety of the pitch. And player safety is obviously, in my opinion, is paramount. And before you go on about India batting twice on the pitch as well, yes, they did. And there were balls that were taken off a length, and our captain was saying, well, I'm not sure that this is fair either, so it's not like we're like sour grapes or anything. We felt this morning when balls were taken off a length that it was obviously a little bit tricky, and a decision will have to be made, but it's not our decision, it's the decision of the umpires and the match officials to make that decision.
Yes, go ahead.
Do you think that decision could have been taken earlier in the day, given that Indian batsmen also had to face a lot of tough deliveries that were moving around and jumping up off a length? Would you have been surprised that decision had come before someone got hit in the head?
Not really, because when I spoke to Faf, he was saying, I think it was at lunch, he came off, he said, look, a couple on the fingers, but again, if the ball is going to hit you on the fingers, and guys are bowling 140 Ks and whatever, and the ball is going to hit you on the fingers and you haven't got time to react or respond or take evasive action, then the umpires have to look after player safety, and if they think that, well, it's getting a bit dangerous, and the umpires in the middle were saying that when they were, I think it was probably before lunch, they were saying that, and Faf said a couple on the fingers we can probably get away with it, but when the ball were up and hit people in the face, then it's a different situation.
Yes,
Otis, 2 pitches in the last 2 to 3 years, 2 pitches in India have been rated poor by ICC, and now this. Do you think it's better to let the groundsmen do their job and not interfere? And especially, surely it affects them if they feel under pressure when captains criticize a pitch like Centurion.
Centurion?
The last pitch was
criticized. Oh, right, okay. No, look, I think every team are good in their own conditions, and they use their conditions to their benefit. You know, in our conditions bouncy wickets, so therefore we want conditions to favor us. When we go to India, the wickets spin. Last time South Africa was there, I wasn't there, but last time South Africa was there, the wickets. You know, if the wicket is bouncing, it's deemed unfit. If the wicket's spinning from the first day, you're playing 4 spinners, then it's the same situation. So you have to try. Every team will try and use home advantage to suit them.
But I was asking, do you feel the groundsmen feel under pressure and go a little too far when the captains are so obviously demanding for a certain kind of wicket and criticizing them openly when that?
Well, no, I can't speak for groundsmen. I think, like I said, you know, we ask for a certain type of pitch, and the groundsman then has a month to try and get it right.
Can I get the last few? Ken, Sarah, and Daniel, the last one.
Ottis, I'm not sure if he consulted with you, but if he did, what was the thinking behind Faf using the heavy roller on the pitch before the start of the
I think the heavy roller sort of just flattens the thing out. You know, there's some cracks that were opening. There were cracks from the first day, and obviously the more you play on it, those cracks widen. And then the whole idea is then to use the heavy roller just to flatten the cracks out. The cracks will always, once the cracks are there already, they will always open as the day go on. But then what you try and do is flatten the cracks out when you have the opportunity to roll the pitch.
I know you said that the match referee's decision will be final, but I'm assuming that there will be some sort of consultation, and if he asks you what you would like to do, what is going to be your answer?
Well, ultimately we're here to play cricket. You know, we still want to play cricket, but again, the match referee's decision will only be based around player safety. He's not going to call it off if we don't think it's safe. You know, so we don't know what the decision is going to be yet. But if the match referee comes tomorrow morning and said, right, game on, then we'll go and play.
If we do come back tomorrow, the batsmen have got a hell of a job to do. Just all this talk of pitches and how dangerous it is, does that kind of cloud their focus, and how do you as the coach kind of make them focus on the task at hand?
No. Once the decision is made, then that's it. And then we prepare like we do every morning, and we go out and we play. And the batsmen will try and do their best to try and bat us to victory.
So there's no sense of like excuses?
No, absolutely not. You know, you saw throughout the whole game on both sides, you saw batsmen wearing a few on the body and so on. India didn't complain, and we're not complaining either. You know, so don't. I hope you're not sitting here thinking that we're complaining. But obviously Dean got hit in the face. He wasn't able to take evasive action. There was one before that he went forward to, that he was going to leave, that bounced up and hit him on the hand again. He wasn't able to take evasive action. So the match referee feels that there's something that for him to look at, and he's going to look at it. He's going to speak to whoever he needs to speak to within the ICC and the umpires, and then they're going to make a decision hopefully tonight or before we leave here. They'll tell us what the decision is, and once they tell us what the decision is, we'll get on with it. Yeah?